Hey everyone, Coach Eric here. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. I'm here in my home studio and I'm about to go over how to achieve the perfect backswing. I'm sitting in a chair right now, and my chair here in my office has wheels on it. And the way that I'm going to have you feel this is using your desk chair in your office to create some instability in the lower part that will help you keep your upper part or your upper axis nice and stable as you're practicing your backswing. So here's how I'm going to start. I'm going to sit in my chair. I'm going to set up nice and straight. I'm going to pull my shoulder blades back. And you can see I have a ball on the ground. And you can see that my sternum is directly in line with that ball. Okay, for now we're going to use that for the posture drill as a good ball position to create a centeredness. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my feet firmly planted on the ground, flat on the ground, and about hip width apart, maybe shoulder width apart here on this video. And I'm sitting kind of on the edge of the seat. Now, what I want to do next is I'm going to hold the club up in front of me, and I'm going to do this from two different views. This is obviously going to be on the face-on view, then I'll turn the chair, and we're going to get this same drill from the down-the-line view. All right, so we've got a chair with wheels for instability. We're going to pull our shoulder blades back, sit up straight. We're going to hold this club out in front of us, and what you'll notice is the leading edge of the golf club is nice and in line with my spine. Okay, so I'm trying to get this in line with my spine, which is something we look for during the full dynamic motion of the golf swing. So if I start like this with my arms extended and the leading edge, I'm looking good. I'm starting off with a nice square club face. Now, if I start with the club face like this, where the leading edge is up, in relationship to my spine, I've got an open club face. Okay, and conversely, if I have it like this, I've got a closed club face. All right, so for this, we're going to go ahead and grip the club, arms extended, shoulder blades back, standing straight up, feet about hip to shoulder width apart, firmly planted on the ground, and I'm sitting on the edge of the chair. Now, I want you to use the plaques behind me. I've got the master's flag behind me there, and I want you to use those as a reference to what you're about to see me do in the rotation of the stroke, or the rotation of the move away. All right, so here's how we're going to do it. We're going to go from here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set some power accumulators here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and hinge the wrists, and I'm going to bend the right arm. So the right arm's bent, and you'll see this better from the down the line view. And I've got the hands directly in front of my sternum, okay? Don't want to start the club like this, and don't want to start the club like this. I want to sit straight up, hands in front. Okay, now from here, I'm going to go ahead and create the shoulder rotation. From here, I'm going to turn the shoulders, and I'm going to go about as 90 degrees as I can sitting in the chair. You can see that because I'm seated, I'm being restricted here to a point, and I'm not really able to move laterally off the ball. Okay, I don't want to be having too much lateral motion either left or right. So straight ahead, set the power accumulators, hands in front of the sternum, 90-degree turn. Okay, you can see my head is staying in the same location or even moved a little target side on the backswing, okay, which in a full motion would be what we call extension of the spine. From here, we're going to go ahead, I'm going to flex forward, I'm going to flex my upper body forward. So now I'm sitting and looking down at the ball, and my left arm and club have formed a 90-degree angle. And from here, I'm going to add a little more pressure to my left foot, and I'm going to stand straight up, staying in this flex position. Don't want you to come up and stand. I want you to come up and stay in the flex position centered over the golf ball. So carefully watch where my head and upper body go in relationship to the plaques behind me. They don't go like this. It's not what we want. And I certainly don't want you over here. So as you stand up, out of this position, we're going to go up and looking down. And you can see that my spine, because I've stayed center, has created the extension in my spine. So not only do I have spine extension, I have spine rotation, and I've got my forward flexion. Okay, so again, edge of the chair, feet shoulder width apart, club head out in front, leading edge, even with the spine or parallel to the spine, right arm bend, hands in front of sternum, wrists are cocked, rotation, flexion, push up. Now, what I want you to really notice is my legs are both in flexion as I sit in a chair. Both of them are bent. Now, as I go back up, I want you to notice how my lead knee, my left knee for me, is going to stay flexed and move in towards the ball, while my right knee and leg are going to extend and straighten. Okay? Here, flex. Okay? And what that's doing is it's creating hip depth for me, which is going to allow me to create the space I'm going to need for the downswing. Okay, so let's do that from the other view. So here we are from here. Let's start down the line here. So we're going to point the club out in front, okay? Leading edge in line, edge of the chair, set some power accumulators here. We're going to rotate, okay? There we go. You can see my head in relationship to the master's flag. Going to tilt, okay? And we're going to stand straight up, keeping the tilt, extending the trail leg. Okay, from here, good things can happen. Now, learning this is going to take practice. And then how do we get that to work when we're not sitting in a chair? So if I take the chair away and do it from both views, how am I going to get this to work? So now I'm going to pretend that I'm still down into that chair, and I'm going to try to remember, what did it feel like when I stood up out of the chair and created the flexion, the extension, and the tilting? So what I want you to do now is feel what you felt with the upper body. You can start by setting some accumulators here, turning with a centered spine, and extending the trail leg. Okay? And now you're in a perfect position. Okay? Again. Okay? Set it, and I call this the P2 set drill, so we're in position number 2, and you're going to go spine extension, which means you're staying in the center, okay? Shoulders tilted, trail leg extends, and you should see flex here, extension here, and a little bit of space between, and you can see that my lead arm is right across my shoulder line, my eyes are down at the ball, and the most important thing is my spine's extended enough to keep me centered over the golf ball. All right, so if you spend 15, 20 minutes a day working in your desk chair, trying to master that backswing, you're gonna improve your ball striking. All right, thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe and hit the like button.